I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Good afternoon, this is Dr. Bones Live, and today my guest is the Broken Witt Rebels. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hello.
So, first off, guys, the name Broken Witt Rebels, is that somewhat of a play on words, or did you guys kind of take a while to think about that, or heard that name come about?
We got some newspapers and just cut out all the headlines. And those were the three best words, and we placed them together and made Broken Witt Rebels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's appeal to us at this time, like we were just in there, and just the three headlines that Jack knows, weren't they? We just cut them out, and that was it, really. You know.
Well, and sometimes that's the best way it comes about, eh? And just because it almost seemed like somewhat of an oxymoron with the Broken Witt Rebels, right? So,
yeah,
because just obviously normally the rebels are strong and tall, not broken, and so to put it that way. Just in general, how long have you guys been together as a band? Like, have you guys known each other for a while? Were you guys friends in school before? I mean, how did the whole band kind of come about together?
Well, me and Danny, we've been friends since school, since we were day one, nursery.
Oh wow!
I think you kindergarten.
Well, you just don't hear that too often, eh? I mean, it's not too often anymore that you hear people have been friends for that long. So
yeah, we was and then we've been as the band as it is now for about 2 years.
Just gone strength to strength, and you find your sound and you play on it and stuff, and you know. Just start getting working out.
Now, did you find you had to do a lot of shuffling to kind of get the lineup right, or?
Well, it was originally finding other committed members that that wanted to play, and finding the committed people that played what you were looking for, and eventually we found the four of us as it is. So.
You have to go through a lot of garbage to find a diamond, I guess. And if there's, we always found me, Luke found and Andy. But if you've got to find committed people, because if you're not all four pulling together, it'll never work. You've all got to row in the right, way, I guess.
Well, you know what?
Problems down the road.
Then. I've heard that before, because actually there's been a few bands recently that I've talked to that either they've had trouble finding that right person, but for some reason the biggest one that always seems the hardest to get together and get one to find your sound is a drummer. Because I mean, even thinking back, I mentioned this before in one of the shows of Spinal Tap, all the different drummers that they quote unquote had, one died of a green thumb, so.
Yeah, they're definitely a different breed, drummers. Our drummer's no different to that. He's on board, and with all due respect, but he sort of baffled us how committed he was early doors. He throws everything into it, and that's what we thrive off, really. All the commitment off each other's, and we all want to learn off each other, we all love doing it. It's all a natural process. All our music at the moment is.
Well, and the one thing.
Our music.
Right. No, sorry. The one thing I did read about too on your I think it was on your webpage, and it was a very good statement saying that our music is not complicated. It's just there what we're making for us and for the listener. So, and that was very well put when I saw that. Actually, that really stood out. I mean, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're not into overcomplicating things. We're quite happy with it just it just flows naturally. You know, we're not pushing to create anything in particular.
Yeah, good, honest music.
Yeah. It's just honest. It's just laid back, and we do it at a relaxed pace. You know, there's never any pressure on it.
Right. You know, but that's all. It's also a very good point. Just because, you know, once you start a sense trying to pushing to create, then you've pretty much lost whatever connectivity you guys had. Well, not just you guys, but a band has had before to now. Because you, like you said, you're pushing to create. Then it kind of gets boring and a little bit more frustrating.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. I mean, as I say, we don't never go into the shit where I never made music to think, oh, we wonder what, you know, other people are saying. It's just a very natural process now. We go into, I guess our songs come from jamming and just, you know, we're all into the same sort of folded music, so it comes very natural.
Well, it's good that you said it, because that actually answers part of my question, because my next question was going to be actually due to the arrangement of the band and like how the songs are created, where it's everybody brings something to the table, or one starts it off with something, then the others bring in something like I said, either during a jam session or just like maybe like sitting around writing one day.
It just starts from like a small idea.
Yes, so someone will have a small idea, like a guitar riff or a bass line or a drum beat, or just something very, very basic, and then we all just play.
Well, you know what?
Hours, you know, and then it flows and builds into something new.
Well, I've noticed that because on your EP that was released last December, correct? Or December?
That's right, yeah.
So a few of the songs actually I've played a few times is called The Sun. I love your chord progression. I love how smooth it is, and that's one thing that drew me into music right away, because I just one of those people. I kind of tear down the song, necessarily in a bad way, but just to kind of see what it's all about.
Yeah.
And just hearing stuff like that. I mean, I'm just your average Joe, like run of the day guitarist, but I'm always interested to learn more, and just hearing stuff like that, you have a bit more respect for the music if you've played the instrument. Not see people don't have respect for music in general, but in some cases, if you've played the instrument or you do play the instrument, you know, it's you can look a little bit deeper and gain that much more respect for them, saying, you know what, that I love the way they did that, and there's no way I could have done that sort of thing, or that sounds cool. Wonder where they came up with the idea.
Well, it was James really. He was playing about with
it was just a little idea, and like we said, really, it's just a small idea that grew from there. Really, you know, I started playing the guitar, like playing that, and then dampers and vocals with the bass line, drums, and it just went from there, really.
Yeah, and then we went into the recording session. We knocked the idea off the slide guitar originally, and we wanted to layer it with something. We wanted to put something over it, and as soon as James went in and he messed about with the guitar and raised the action or whatever it was,
and we just put some slide on it.
And he put some slide on it, and
really
straight away we fell in love with it from there. I guess, yeah.
Right on. Just before we're actually going to play Call Out the Sun in just a moment here, but there's one question I had just before we get into the song. Actually, you know what? It can wait. We'll listen to the song first, and I'll ask you this when we get back. So we're going to take a little break here, and we're going to listen to Call Out the Sun by Broken Witt Rebels.
When I wake
All right, that was "Call It the Sun" by Broken Witt Rebels, and this tune, like I said in the speaking before, that I like the chord progression, but I kind of like the bluesy sound to it as well, and I love hearing that kind of influence in the songs. So that one is probably one of my favorites, or is my favorite on the EP.
Thanks very much. I guess our newer stuff sounds very, very similar to that. We've just, as we were finishing the sound belongs to me EP, we really, really did click onto the sound, and we all loved anyway, but we really sort of delved into it. So the stuff that we're recording at the moment, we're starting to. It's very, very.
We've got a few more in that direction, but then we've tried to balance it by recording, which we haven't recorded yet. Some of the not heavier, but more, I suppose, more aggressive music. You know, that's not sunshine and happiness. It's a bit deeper and darker.
Yeah. We've definitely gone down the blue, touched down a lot more.
Yeah, a lot more on the
just
blues,
heavier riffs and then and the same sort of. We've not overcomplicated it at the same time. We've rocked it up more, but still really gone bluesy as well.
But and that's a good thing, because just in general, bands and musically, you guys got to evolve, and this is the next step, and it's I'm excited to hear it once it comes out. But that's the way to do it, and that's what people want. Is they want sometimes slow progression is better than something comes just too drastic and right out in your face, because some people can be a little bit I can't think of the word, but they'll kind of pull back a little bit. We'll put it that way. Yeah. Just because it's too much too quickly, especially when the person's a hardcore fan, and that's like a shock. It almost gives them like a brain aneurysm, because they can't handle it.
Yeah. I mean, definitely, like the likes of All Worn Out, they were that was our first thing we brought out. We wanted people. It was mainly like a statement. We wanted to sort of surprise people and say, "This is what we can do. This is, it was an in-your-face sort of song." And we wanted to have that reaction, but then likes to call out the song. We wanted to sort of strip it down and say we're not about. We can set it up when we want, but we can show our side of slowing it down, versatile like that. That we're happy with that. We just want to show both sides, really. Right.
Well, and it works, but and like I said, it's such a good way to go. And the fact that you're already starting to or already did start thinking ahead after the CP was over said and done, that you were thinking ahead, something like that. Now we're going to change up a little bit. Maybe if we kind of start going this direction, and it's good because it also gives you a little bit of time to think about it.
Yeah.
Which is obviously important. Now, the question I was going to ask you, I was going to say is going to leave it till after Call It the Sun, was obviously you guys were saying before, when you jam, it'll just turn in from a jam to a song. Now, have you noticed that? Has this ever happened when you've been playing a live show? You'll do an add-on to the song, but later on you end up keeping it and maybe reworking the song altogether because it sounded so good live.
Yeah, we have a couple of small things live, but we were actually recording in the studio a brand new song this time, and we'd actually got it. We got the drums laid, and we were about to start. We had an idea of adding a new little bit in, so we had to go back and start it again because there was an immediate stop and a gap in the music. It's only small, but it added that sort of it added a good dynamic to it, and we knew that had to stay. And we played it live previously, and then beyond that, it changed into the way we play it now.
Yeah, so that's
the biggest one that we've done.
The funny thing is as well, Call Out the Sun, actually the idea came along in the sound check, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
I started playing in the sound check. And then,
wow.
We just went back to it in a rehearsal and just started working on it, really. We just liked the sound of it. I was just messing about.
Yeah, that was probably the quickest song, the quickest we've ever wrote a song, I'd say.
Not in the actual sound check, but
yeah.
It was probably 15-20 minutes, and we'd got all the music put together, and it fell together that quick. We knew we had to record it. It just fell together so well.
That's really cool, man. That's the first I've heard of a song starting from a sound check, so that's really cool. And the one thing I was going to mention about having that little pause in the song where there's absolutely nothing, I'm one of those people. I'll telling you right now. I could probably listen to the song 1,000 times, and every once in a while, I still forget it's a little pause and either think the song is done or forget about it, and it comes back and kind of makes you jump because you weren't expecting it. So.
Yeah, definitely. It doesn't have that much of a pause, I guess, but we're really excited. We're going to announce a certain few things, but we really love this song that we're talking about. We can't wait for it.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's becoming a live favourite already. I think we're starting to end a lot of sets with it, and the response we've got from it has been above and beyond. It's been massive.
Now, have you guys played a lot of shows lately, or do you have planned a bunch of shows line up?
Well, we've took a little gap recently just so we could sort of take a step back. Because when you're going from show to show to show, it does get very busy, and there's not much time left for writing and sort of taking it slow. So we have had a small break, but we are playing this Saturday in Birmingham at the Sunflower Lounge. That's our sort of come back after our little break. We probably had a 4 or 5 week break or something.
Yeah, which is a lot for us.
Which is a long time for us.
An awful lot. And then we've got Manchester.
And then we're in Manchester. Then we're in, actually, weekend after next, we're in Chester by Liverpool.
And it's sort of like an acoustic thing which we're sort of getting ready for, really, because we don't really do much acoustically. I mean, very early days, like some early All Worn Out.
Right.
That sort of, the idea was put together on an acoustic guitar, but it's quite refreshing. We're doing an acoustic show in Chester, and then
it's changing it up. It's a bit more of a challenge for us because we do sort of up against the wall, big loud live sets, where we got a full back line and lots of distortion on the guitars, and we can really throw everything at it. But when you've got to strip it down to nothing, and you've got one guitar, maybe a bass and some vocals, it changes the dynamics of the songs, and we've sort of had to sit and work them through to get them ready for it. So that's been fun.
Yeah, I was just about to say. I mean, that's got to be it's got to be a good time because you're right. You strip it down to nothing. Because I was just thinking about. I was just about to say, that's quite an adjustment. And even coming to solos, just as well as I do that, like trying to going up on a pretty high front acoustic, and trying to push in those heavy steel strings is not always the easiest thing to do, right? So. So it's just it's one of those things that. So what's that? Sorry.
No, we're working all that out. Definitely,
James keeps moaning all the time because his fingers are hurting.
Yeah.
Just play chords.
Just playing the chords now.
Yeah.
Stick to chords.
Yeah.
Either way, it's a lot of fun, and sometimes, not all times, but a lot of times, people will throw in let's say they'll use a bongo line as a drum line, or they'll use the quote unquote the brush stick, so it's a lighter tap when you're drumming. So, but even just bass guitar and vocals sounds really cool because you gotta work a little bit harder because now you're compensating for one instrument that's not there.
Yeah, definitely.
We're going to take some pots and pans, household appliances, and see what we can do.
It's quite cool. So that's going to get recorded as well, we believe, and that's for more of a show thing. It's more getting recorded for an online thing. So it will be quite cool that the setting in the environment will be so stripped down, and it'll be cool dynamic, I guess, for us too.
Now, are you guys currently working on the EP? I know you've been working on new music, but are you working on the EP at this moment?
Yes, we are. We can't say when it's released, and we can't say the name. We don't know the name yet, but we can't. We will be announcing soon when it's released, and we will be announcing the name and everything like that. This one is going to have more tracks than the last one. I think I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah.
But there's definitely going to be 5, and there might be 6, but there's definitely 5 on this one. We want to try and get more out. Yeah. We don't like it getting released in drips and drabs. We want it to come out in a good lump so that we can put on the EP a good versatile range of our music. So it's not, well, you've got to squeeze 4 songs on, so you've got to do these. We can sort of, the more we put on there, the more we can float between one.
Recorded two tracks so far, and they're in the later stages, I guess. And then we have arranged to do more recordings.
We're going back to the studio to record another 3 in May, and then beyond that, we may be going back again to do another one.
The touch-ups, yeah. Well, so it's very good. We found a good studio. We really like the sound, and we're very happy and looking forward to bringing out our next EP.
Now, when you're recording songs in general, whether the new ones or the old ones, are you guys? Do you guys already know, or are you thinking about how you're going to arrange them as you're playing them, or is it something you think about after?
We have a pretty much a good idea. Only on this track that we mentioned earlier, that was the only track where we actually got into recording level, where we thought this was what was going to happen, and only at that point we changed it up. Because we've never done that before. We usually go all worn out. How you hear them is pretty much how we play it live. But for this track that we mentioned, that was the only song where we thought, oh wow, this could do with this and this could do that. So we changed it there. But usually we go in there with a solid sort of.
We're very set on an idea when we go in. You know, I mean, the producer we work with is now the one who's recording this EP is fantastic. He really knows his stuff, and he'll say, you know, you might want to do this and you might want to do that, but generally we're so set in stone because we've been playing the songs for a while. We know what people like with them, we know what we like,
right?
It tends to be quite easy because we go straight in: drums, bass, guitars, vocals, little bit of organ and tambourine maybe afterwards. But you know, it tends to flow pretty well because the songs are really solid and tight, so we can just go in and drop them straight on.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's always a curiosity question to me, just because a lot of bands, when they've recorded they'll wait till almost after they've done recording songs, and then they'll kind of arrange them the way they want them, like as far as like, you know, the lineup on the EP or full length album. Some, like you guys have a preconceived idea of how they're going to line up already. So it's just always curious to me to see how that works, because I'm always curious because a lot of times it's not done on purpose, mind you, either because of song titles or just the way the music flows. It's almost like it's an underlying storyline.
Yeah. We have got something now. I think we definitely know. We know the sort of songs we're bringing out this EP purposely. We sort of know which way we want them to go, and I think we could say we know already which is going to start the EP and which is going to end it.
Yeah, we know the rough order, and you know, I mean, our drummer, if he was here now, he'd be saying it's got to be a journey. If he has to take you on a journey, and we'd all be telling him shut up.
Yeah.
Right, but no, I mean, it'll start in a place, and there's ups and downs through it, and then it'll end on a high, hopefully.
Yeah, we usually start pretty big and then sort of calm down, mellow out, and then a big ending. That's usually the sort of thing we go for.
That's the way we do it, yeah. I mean, we were very much like the high, high peak, and then stripping it right down to literally just a lyric or a bass line, and then building it back up. It is quite, we like the velocity of it, the ups and downs, the emotion of it. And then just, you know, some tracks will sort of like bounce happily sort of along and really good on a rhythm and melodic sort of vibe. So it's really cool, man. Yeah.
Well, you know, and that's the kind of flow you want in general, just the way that the songs are lined up, you know, because you want to come out hitting hard, you know, just to get the fans interested. Now they're listening, they're really digging it. Now the next song's a little bit different, so it's almost like I've put this in a few reviews. It's like pretty much like a roller coaster of emotions, you know, because you start up really high, kind of drop a little down, a little bit low, but then you're back up again.
Yeah.
But it flows so smoothly. It's almost one of those things that before you know it, you're on to the next. We'll say the next emotion, which will be like the next verse, note, what have you.
Yeah, definitely.
So I mean, again, we never purposely mean to do it. It's just, you know, if we were a listener, the music we listen to and the music we like to just sort of, you know, we've heard bands there, so, you know, you're having a conversation halfway through the song, and it's not about that. It has to be all eyes on, and if it's not all eyes on live, it'll be all ears on. one way or another, for good, we have to get the attention, and that's the way our music.
Our music, it's not purpose, but our music definitely will be constantly attention grabbing. I mean, there'll be one piece running, then all of a sudden you're thrown into something else, and it grabs your attention again, and then it'll drop down, and like you said, with the stops, you'll think it's stopped, but then immediately it's back onto something, and it does keep your attention, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, it has mine. So we're actually going to get to another tune that she actually mentioned just a few minutes ago, saying pretty much the way it sounds is pretty much the way how it went. And the song is called All Worn Out.
Okay.
All right, that was Broken Witt Rebels with All Worn Out. Now, this song, guys, really cool tune. But before I ask one of my next questions, I want to know, like, if you guys can name, let's say top 3 influences, either as a whole or individually, whichever way you want to do it, it's fine. If you want to pick one each, if that makes it easier, then you can go with that too.
So my one would be, I'm heavily inspired by Fleetwood Mac. Not so much Peter Green stuff, but mainly Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks. I like the way they wrote songs together and stuff. That would probably be my main love. And
mine would probably be Muddy Waters. I love Muddy Waters. You know, they're like blues at the ground level, and they're blues to the back of the tee. So yeah,
I'd probably say maybe Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Quite big on him. I think you like him, Canada. You know?
yeah,
Oh my
But
god.
no, in all seriousness, probably Rolling Stones, Jimi Hendrix, Rolling Stones, one of them.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed some of the inputs in there, so always curious to see if I was close and actually picked up just a little bit, sound a little bit like kind of like the Black Keys at one point.
Yeah. Well, we do actually, we love them. We do actually, we do a cover of theirs live. It goes down very well. I got mine by the Black Keys. We do that live, and I think we do it better. Sort of. And they did the show with that, and I was disappointed that they ended it because we definitely do it better. James plays the guitar with his teeth through it. We completely sort of changed it in slight ways, but they're a great band. We love their music.
You know, I
think we're better. I got mine. Just like I got mine.
Our sound is similar to that. You know, I mean, we've got that sort of almost deep south feel. You've got the
tone's quite warm.
Alabama Shakes, Kings of Leon, Black Keys. We get those quite a bit. But considering we come from Birmingham, England,
the home industrial rock and roll, the home of Sabbath and
Zeppelin was born in Birmingham. And,
close enough,
Midlands.
Yeah.
You know, so we get that occasionally, that we've got a similar vibe to Zeppelin as well, which is the biggest compliment anyone's ever paid.
Yeah. Well, definitely we has again. I don't know what I'm talking about.
His mouth's moving quicker than his brain.
We love our roots in Birmingham. But
Yeah,
we
definitely.
get compared a lot to sort of like your Americana sort of bands, and when we come from Birmingham, like an industrial sort of rock and roll, even metal sound, it's quite cool how we're not trying to do that.
Oh no.
Just how we are, I guess. You know.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, is like the influences may show, but it's the thing is it's still your own music. I mean, everybody's influenced by somebody. I mean, that's the way it goes. And if they say otherwise, they're full of crap. Because everybody's style, the whole thing is all driven by stuff they've learned and influences they have. Because individually, you can tell some of the influences you've already talked about. I mean, like guitar wise, like you noticed like just the style, a little bit of the soloing it's a mix, literally a mix of kind of Keith Richards kind of easy kind of blues styling play to Hendrix with this kind of his the climbing progression, kind of like scaling the going up. I'm not sure how else to put it, but like say stepping up, going up the fret, going 1, 2, 3 sort of thing. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I just obviously you can see me, but they can't. So trying to describe how like the solo guitar just a little bit more difficult. So I'm trying to think of the best way to put it that people will get what I'm saying.
Yeah, we understand. We appreciate it as well. James is he has got that natural, I guess, thing where he can sort of strip it down quite low, but then he can just blow your mind, I guess. He can sort of he has got that sort of range, I guess, which we're quite fortunate with. Well, I am better.
What you are? Keep picking up.
But one last question here for you guys, and since we're using a form of it, how has the social media worked for you? Like Twitter, SoundCloud, Facebook, that sort of thing.
Twitter for us has been massive. It's the heart of it. Yeah, definitely. It's the heart of our fan base and everything. Everybody who is a fan is on Twitter. I mean, it seems to be sort of the centre of activity for us at the minute. It's like a snowball thing. It's such a great and opens a massive door. And we've got great people who, are part of our team, and I'd like to shout out Cat Coogler, who's a massive part of our operations, really, I guess, isn't it? The Rebel team. Yeah, and there's a Rebel team, and there's great people that follow us and come to our shows and make it amazing. But getting back to the original question, social media is massive for us. There's no tricks or fix. We just love to
one-to-one, just be very, personal really and get to know people.
Yeah, definitely. If somebody will take the time to listen to our music and follow us on Twitter, we will take the time to speak to them and follow them back.
Yeah.
We do want to do that. We've got about 15,000 followers now on Twitter, and we speak to every single one of them, and it's a mammoth task. We're all on it speaking to different people, but I think it's important because without them we're nothing.
We don't get into music for the wrong reasons of trying to look cool or
right.
like that. I mean, we just we love doing what we're doing, and when people enjoy what we're doing, it's great because that's the biggest buzz. Yeah, that is the biggest buzz.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's the same reason I do this show. I know, I just love doing this. So it's fun to because I use Twitter all the time too, and it's fun to get on Twitter and just band after band. And sometimes it's hard to listen to it all as much as I want. A lot of times I just don't have the time, or it takes me a little while longer, and I'm not doing it to be rude. It's just like there's not enough time in the day to do it, right? So
well, that's it. That's the beauty of it. Music is so easily viable now, and you can make it a song, I guess, in your bedroom by within the hour it can be to the world, and it is a great thing. But there's just so much of it at the moment, and it's a great thing. Yes.
I mean, it's become more available, but like you were saying, you've got bands throwing music at you left, right, and centre, and because it's so easily available,
So when people do take the time to listen to us and they are fresh ears, and we are chuffed with it, and at the same time we'll always take time out of our day no matter what we're doing, and it's personal touches basically. We appreciate it, and we'll sing for our supper. We genuinely will,
Absolutely.
No graces.
No, you're absolutely right, and that's why I love it too, because it's nice to be personal and talk to these bands personally and let them know what's going on. And it's not just some random person asking for music, it's someone actually cares and wants to put time into it. And that's the thing, is like I put a lot of time into the music I listen to, and especially when I set for the interview, because each band's gonna be different, and it's fun to sit around and do the research and find out what I can on them firsthand, and then hear them talk more about it, especially when sometimes they've got really funny stories, or just very interesting stories to begin with, and that's what makes us so much fun, is because you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, very true. Definitely. I mean, we still love going around each other's houses. We're at James at the moment, and we just love hanging out. We're friends, more than anything, I guess. Yeah. And our music's so natural that we do it, where we can. So it's not a forced thing, and it's so cool that we can do that, I guess, isn't it? Still get together and hang out and chill out. His mate's moving faster than his brain again.
Yeah.
Just had a lovely cup of tea from James. He's got the heat. He never has the heat.
The heating's on for the first time.
Treat myself.
Ever.
Yeah.
And it's usually -20 in his house.
We won't be able to see, but Dr. Bones himself is freezing at the moment. He's got smoke. Where's that smoke? Steam.
Yeah.
He's got steam coming out of his mouth. We're in the wall now. He's got the heating on. He's got a moment when he goes.
Yeah, I got a heater too, just not working properly right now. So, but it's not too bad. At least the studio's insulated, so it could be a lot worse. At least I'm not sitting here shivering, and you can barely understand what I'm saying because I'm. So, either way, you guys, that's all I have. But thank you so much for taking the time to do the show. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Up the Rebels. Up the Dr. Bones.
Right on. Guys, thank you so much. It's been a great time, and we'll definitely keep in touch because I'm going to have you back on when that new EP comes out.
Yeah, fantastic. We'll send it to you first thing. We'd love you.
Yeah, as soon as it's ready, there'll be a copy on the way to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys, and we'll definitely keep in touch. I appreciate the time.
Thanks, mate.
See you soon.
Bye, guys. All right, guys, that was the Broken Witt Rebels, and that was a lot of fun. A good bunch of guys, and started using the video again with the Skype call, and it seems to be working pretty well. So maybe the glitch finally kind of righted itself there. So that was a lot of fun, and some things I wish you guys had seen because it was pretty funny. We had a good time. So until next time, which will be this Thursday at 6 p.m., 6 p.m. I believe. I'll be interviewing Actually, no, 7 p.m. Sorry, my mistake. 7 p.m. So 7 p.m. 7 p.m. in the UK, 2 p.m. Eastern. I'll be interviewing Cash is King, so you're going to want to tune in for that. Until then, guys, thank you so much for listening. I hope you had a good time like I did with Broken Witt Rebels. So until then, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for listening. Bones out.